Hi everyone, in this session we are going to discuss about SPVs, special purpose vehicle entities, how it works, uh, you know, and why fund creates SPVs. We'll try to quickly check in next 5 to 10 minutes. See, SPV stands for special purpose vehicle entities. It's just a legal, entity structure. SPVs can be registered as a LLC, joint venture, or LPs, which is limited, partnership companies. Why we create SPVs? If any fund or business has any targeted assets, in that case, those funds or businesses can registered entity as a SPV and acquire that assets under that particular SPV. If I talk about special purposes, see, if I talk about special purposes, then fund create SPVs to hold assets, then raising funds to hold even bad assets as well. And if the fund has any, let's say, strategy to create a separate entity for a trading of Bitcoin or maybe derivatives and all, in that case also fund can create a separate entity and track everything through that entity. Now your question would be, sir, why SPVs? Why not fund? To registered fund would be highly costly, time consuming, and as a fund might will have to go through the lot of the regulations. But if I talk about SPVs would be like very cost effective, easy to handle, flexible as well. Like for every new investors, you can registered SPV and acquire assets. Most of the SPVs, they are like single asset SPVs. So it means for one assets you can create a one SPV and maintain accounting, reporting, capital call distribution, everything for that particular SPV, and would be easy as well. And that's what, if you see nowadays, most of the funds, they have started registering small entities as a SPV under main fund and holding assets, because that is something easy, I would say, to hold assets and manage the accounting and reporting separately for that particular assets. Apart from this, what I have seen, like fund maintain SPVs as a sidecar for bad investments or risky investments. In other words, we call it as like side pocket investments as well. Fund even can create SPVs to manage day-to-day expenses as well, and that would be easy to track also. For example, let's say for management fees, you can create one separate entity and track management fees. For incentive fees, you can create one entity and you can track it. For investments, ABC investment and all, means fund manager can create separate entity and track the investments. Okay. Now in terms of structure, private equity funds create different SPVs like SPV, SPV 1, 2, 3 and acquire assets under different investments. So basically this fund raise funds from investors. So it means investors invest in main fund, which is private equity fund, and this fund then allocate the capital to the different entities like SPV 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is how your structure looks like. If I talk about this one, this SPV 3, let's say, created for OpenAI stocks. Stocks, it means investment which is in assets of that particular fund. So basically investors will invest in fund and then fund will invest money or create a SPV, allocate funds and acquire assets. And at SPV level will prepare standalone financial reports, and at a fund level, fund will prepare a consolidated financial reports which includes all the SPVs and related investments. So this is how basically SPV structure looks like. Now if I talk about, let's say, how and why fund creates it. See, to create a SPVs in a fund or business, which can be even strategic move as well. Bank can create SPVs, even private equity funds or hedge funds, they can also create SPVs. Individual person can also registered fund, registered SPVs. See, in US and UK or even Cayman Island, most of the novice in fund managers prefer to registered small fund as a SPV, special purpose vehicle entity, so that they can track everything seamlessly. Because through SPV they can easy to registered or raise funds for their investment strategy, and they can acquire assets. To registered professional fund would be highly risky to operate. And another big benefit of SPV is, if you registered your fund as a SPV, then you can simply bypass the what I would say, lot of the legal complex regulations as well, because most of the regulator, they just avoid to go through the each and every details of SPVs, and that is another benefit that you can see. SPVs looks like a small brothers of private equity and hedge fund and even companies. Same terms and conditions which you can apply, like 2% management fees, incentive fees under SPV as well. In terms of structure of SPV, means we can appoint fund manager or GP and LP also, we can define separately. That's how SPV structure works. All right. Then if I talk about, let's say example, if you have any investments under fund which is which has a low credit score and no surety about interest payment or principal repayment due to bankruptcy, those assets also you can park it under SPV. So it means fund will create SPV and park those assets to that SPV account. See, most of the people, they reach out to me for a consulting and ask, sir, can we register single SPV and raise funding? Yes, you can do it. You can register SPV to raise funding, and you can acquire target assets. This is possible. Just registered sole entity for the purpose of fundraising and investing in the targeted company. Register it and do it. It's a simple process. But what we have got to know, like, if you are a fund, if you are a company, then only you can register it as a SPV. No. Even single investor also can register fund and means SPV and raise it. Again, same SPV strategy can be essential for a small fund managers, or the fund managers who are new to this industry and want to quickly start something and raise funds from the friends and families. Then in that case, SPV could be one of the way to quickly register and raise funding from the people. All right. So this is how basically SPV works. If you like this episode, please go ahead and subscribe and comment. Apart from this, we have started the trainings on SQL and Power BI. If you are really looking for a transformation on your the tech career, like as a consultant or data scientist or AI engineer, then you can enroll to our courses, because every month we have a batches for a Power BI, SQL, AI, so that you can learn it, right, and transform your career as a business analyst, payment consultant, product owner, or even private equity or hedge fund implementation manager. So if you're really interested, please go and check the link which is already provided in the description and enroll today. Thank you very much for watching this. We'll see you in next episode, and maybe we'll discuss about private credit funds in that session. Thank you very much for watching this. Thank you.